Peace be the journey. May that be the mantra that guides you to stillness and the chaos of this world. And this is a quote from Shane Scott. And this quote addresses one of the main reasons I created Hippie-Fari, the beautiful, life-changing message of reggae music. It was created for social change, and its message is as strong today as it was in the 60s when the first reggae records were released in Jamaica. So welcome to another episode of Hippie-Fari Reggae Radio and Podcast, brought to you by The Island Rhythm, recorded live in the Omen Honey Reggae Radio and Media Studios in beautiful Ocala National Forest. Now take a second and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I am your host, Scotty the High-Strung Hippie. And Hippie-Fari is a podcast where we discuss all things reggae. So if reggae music is your thing, you're in the right place. So today, we have some very special guests in the studio. Usually we're kind of vibing with reggae bands, diving into the music, the culture, and the roots that inspire us all. But today we're doing something different. We're doing something way bigger. Because reggae has always been about truth, resistance, and love. That doesn't stop at the music. Today we're crushing boundaries and making waves in the reggae community by shining a light on an issue that affects too many families in silence. That issue is domestic violence. And our guests, Valerie and Willie, the heart behind Hippie Haven, a nonprofit born from the deepest pain a family can face. And instead of letting tragedy break them, they've transformed their grief into a mission for justice, awareness, and healing. And we're going to talk about their story and the work of Hippie Haven and how we as a community can stand together, protect, and empower survivors. And along the way, we'll weave in the spirit of reggae because as the music teaches us, the fight for freedom and love is universal. Valerie and Willie, welcome to the show. It is an absolute honor to have you here. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having us. We're really honored to be here and join the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking time, like I said, out of your busy day. I know you guys are you're chilling, you're having fun listening to music, so I'm definitely a little jealous. But
That's right. We're up Steenhatchee River.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So once again, thank you for being here. So for those who don't know you, which I'd be surprised because I know you know a lot of people in this community, could you kind of share the story of how Hippie Haven was born and what kind of sparked it to become what it is today?
I can. In 2020, I got the worst phone call a parent could ever have. And my daughter Madison was murdered in Payson, Arizona. And she was trying to leave her abuser, and she didn't make it out. She was packing her stuff, and she was trying to leave. And he shot her in the heart. And she didn't make it, of course, and he's not in jail.
Right.
So after going down the dark rabbit hole, and not wanting to stay on this earth, just didn't see anything worth living for.
Right.
Until Willie told me, "What about me?"
Right.
And in all my grief, I realized that the only way through the dark was to be the light. Because some people were struggling, and we were in the throes of COVID, and everything was scary, and nobody knew what was happening. We couldn't see our loved ones. And here we were flying out to Arizona in the middle of COVID to bury my child. And it was the saddest journey of my life, and still is. And we had to take all of that pain and sorrow and do something with it, do something positive, because that's what Madison did. Madison was the light. She was the light that everybody needed. She was that friend that brought you that double espresso. She was that friend who put in $10 in the jukebox and played all of your favorite music just to cheer you up. She was that human. And so we have tried to embody what we think she would be doing, what she would be doing to above all make sure that love wins. Love always wins. And she was that light. And that's what we tried to do. And we started Hippie Haven, and we were a small little shop inside of a flea market in Riverview. And we were there for a year making tea and making friends and telling people our story. And they came. They just came. The people came. And the stories that we heard and the stories that we shared were something that no other person could ever understand. And I found more people like me that had lost a child, and we were walking the same path. And the only way that we could see the way out, the way that I could see the way out of the dark, was to be the light. And I didn't know how to do that, so we just did. We just did. We just showed up every day. That was the biggest thing, was we had to be there every single day. We just showed
Sure.
up. We didn't know what we were going to do. We still don't, but we just show up. And that was the
Amen.
big part, was showing up and letting people know we're here. We're right here. We're here when it's awful and it's horrible and it's bad. We're right here. And I don't know how we can help but come, and we'll figure it out. And
Amen. That's
that's how
beautiful.
it led to a food bank, and it led to having a clothing closet. And people knew, and they started, hey, you need some clothes? We heard you need clothes. Yes. And the clothes would come and the food would come. And that's how it all started. And that's how we still continue today to help people. We help them with toiletries. We help them with food. We help them with a hug if all they need is a hug. If they need a phone call. We're housing a mother and daughter right now in our home, and we have been since July,
That's
because
great.
we had to. It was just it,
And we can.
and we can, yeah,
Yeah.
we
Amen.
can. And
It's
to have that,
amazing how you.
yep, to
Oh,
have
I'm
that
sorry.
ability, and to have a partner that is just kind of looks at me and is like, all right, and we just do. Sometimes we don't even know how we're going to do it, but we do. We're just like, well, come on, we'll figure it out. And that's what we do. And with the donations of clothing and food that we get, in kind donations, we are able to help. We have helped 13 families this year so far.
That's fantastic.
It is. It's really big to be able to say that we personally helped 13 families so they weren't hungry. So they had gas in their car, so that
Yes.
they had a roof over their head. To be able to say that is, I'm pretty proud, and I know Madison would be. I know she would be.
Amen. Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's huge that you were able to take, tragedy and instead of shutting down, which a lot of people would have done. I
I
mean,
did.
I have daughters. I don't know what I would have done, but you took that tragedy and you took action instead of shutting down. That's huge.
I shut down for a little while. I did. I shut down because I was spinning, and I didn't know how to process it. And then
Amen.
later, my mother died, and it was sudden. It was a sudden cardiac event. It it just shook my core. It shook
Right.
my entire core, because I was grieving my child and then my mother, and I'm just starting to grieve my mother now. And then Willie's mother died. And so it's just been back to back to back. And trying to process all of that, and the only thing that kept us going was Hippie Haven. And that's what
Yeah.
kept us going through all the grief, was Hippie Haven, and knowing that somebody somewhere is going to be okay because of Hippie Haven.
Yes. That's an absolutely beautiful thing to be able to take, like I said, that tragedy and turn it into something extremely positive that, not only one time, but, continuously every single day you're helping people. And that's a beautiful thing. Before Hippie Haven, what was your life like? I mean, I know you guys personally, and I know you're very giving people. Did you imagine you'd be leading a nonprofit for advocacy work, like this, or, in any, situations?
I kind of feel like I did, because before Hippie Haven, Willie is a veteran of the United
Okay.
States Army, and we were helping veterans get safe and legal access to cannabis. So we were really
Nice.
pushing for safe, legal cannabis use. And we were doing that before Hippie Haven. And we still continue to help veterans in their cannabis journey, and their pain journey, and their PTSD journey. But that
Sure.
was, we were helping veterans, and try going and visiting with veterans, and sitting down with them and explaining to them the benefits of cannabis over all the pills. And lots of them had
Yes.
just gotten off of the pills and they were new to the cannabis journey because being in the service, you could never smoke pot. And oh my gosh. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, the stigma attached to it. So we had to, well, I don't want to lose my guns. We're like, no, no, no. We had to break all those stigmas and really educate people about the cannabis laws and the gun laws in Florida, and
Sure.
that you can have both. You can have your
Yep.
concealed carry and you can have your cannabis card and all of the things. And that was where we were going. That's what we were doing. We were traveling around when we could, and we'd go and visit vets that were kind of down and out and try and bring them some cheer and maybe smoke a little with them and talk to them about,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, talk to them about, but listen to some reggae music, man.
Yes.
Stop playing off all the angry music. Stop playing all the angry music and all that music that all you heard when you over there in war. Turn it off. Put on
Right.
something loving, and trying to get them to understand that reggae music and cannabis and can heal you if you let it. It's
Amen.
not for everyone. We know that, but there's a lot of issues with a lot of our vets, and cannabis can be a fantastic alternative as opposed to all the pills and etc.
Amen. It's absolutely
Yeah.
100%.
And that's where we
Uh,
thought we were going. That's what we thought we were going to be doing. Probably was just, cruising around, listening to some music, chasing reggae, and helping vets along the way.
right.
And I feel like we did that, and now we took it to the next level.
You definitely did take it to the next level. I firmly believe that, and I know I can't imagine. So I would never speak for you, but I know it's got to be extremely tough to be able to do what you did. And like I said, you rose up and you did it, and that's absolutely amazing. You're keeping her name alive, and you're keeping this issue at the forefront of people's minds because it is real and it does affect people on a daily basis. And when most people hear domestic violence, they think of physical abuse, but it's often a lot more complex than that. I mean, how would you describe the realities that victims face, not just physical abuse, because I know a lot more goes along with that too.
Well, there's such a it's a rainbow of things that affects them. And personally, as a survivor of domestic violence, which a lot of people do not know that about me, I can say that I was very lucky that I was in the state of Florida. I like to think that because of where I was, I had the resources to get to safety. I was allowed to take my pets with me, so I didn't have to be away. I didn't have to leave everything, including my pets, the one thing that brought me comfort. And I
Right.
feel like Florida was a Florida saved my life. I
Right.
was able to go to a beautiful facility in Naples. I mean, Naples, it's Naples, so they have a
Right.
$1 million facility there with a big wall around it and cameras, and it's a very safe. It's there's a lot of people there that my story was just one in a million. And the fact that
Right.
I was able to go someplace safe and get the services and the resources that I needed to know that, okay, here's what we have to do. And I pressed charges, and, he went to prison, and, I got that order of protection, and I did
Good.
all of the things that I was told to do. This is what you need to do, and this is
Right.
what you need to do. And I did them. And I think the biggest thing is people don't, once they leave, oh, now what? Well, you need to go get an order of protection. Well, how do I do that? Well, you go to the clerk of the court. And, the steps, and so many people don't know that the
Sure.
resources are there. They are. Florida has a lot
Yes.
of resources. And unfortunately, those resources weren't really made public until, of course, Gabby Petito. And
Right.
my daughter's life was just as important as Gabby Petito's. Madison Allman, that name should have been all over the news too. Madison Ruby Allman, her name should have been in every newspaper. Her name should have been on every person's lips. Her name should have been across the headlines. But was it? It wasn't. It
Right.
was. It barely made a byline in her local paper. Yeah.
And
That,
I know I had talked to you. I don't know how deep you want to get into it, but I think probably because of who the perpetrator was, had a lot to do with it not being publicized. Is that kind of correct?
It is correct. And you know what? I'm not scared to say his name. Richard Pfister. Richard Pfister
Right.
murdered my.
Good.
Yeah. Richard Pfister.
Right.
Efister. Richard Pfister murdered my daughter. He stalked her. He lost his job while she was in recovery because he was having a relation with her. All of the things that were happening. And it wasn't physical. It was all gaslighting. It was all letting her know that and distancing her, keeping her away from her family and her friends. Control. The control.
Yeah.
All of the control that she would have to feel like she would sneak out. And she called her daddy. She called her daddy to tell him, I got to get out. I got to leave. I got money. I got to leave. And he said, come on, just get your stuff and come. She said, well, I got to work. I got to go to work, Dad. I'll come after work. And 3 hours later, she was dead because he came home and surprised her. And whatever happened in that room, we will never know because it was a small town with small town politics.
And them cops sure did a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, oh, well, we don't have a homicide division. What do you mean you don't have a homicide division? Well, we're a small town. Okay.
They allowed to do the move gun. They didn't do any kind of GSR test. You know, it just goes on and on.
The list of shoddy police work and contaminated crime scene and contaminated evidence. They didn't collect his clothes until the next day. Knocked on his door the next day. Hey, can we have your clothes from yesterday?
Oh my God.
Yeah, hang on. Let me get him out of the dryer.
You know, just,
No kidding. Yeah, after he's washing. Yeah, Jesus.
Was a volunteer cop at the same police station.
Yeah. So, he volunteered at the police department that handled it.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And we were told that, hey, it's very common for people to move the gun. I'm like, what?
Yeah, when they're guilty.
Who moves a gun? When instead you should be trying to save the love of your life. Why weren't you down there trying to save her life? If that was the love of your life and you walked in and she supposedly shot herself, why weren't you giving her CPR? Why were you in the driveway on your phone? Why weren't you trying to save her life? You should have been covered in blood and you weren't. Yep.
I completely agree. Yeah, if something like that happened to my wife, I would be, holding her like a baby on the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all would. It wouldn't matter who it was in your family. You would be so shocked. You would simply run to them and grab them and do everything you could.
Amen.
And now his daddy is on, the county commissioner board. So, the fact of this getting reopened, trying to get the money to get an attorney to reopen it, to get it labeled, to get him in front of a grand jury, all the things that it would take is just, it's exhausting.
We need a big,
I'm sure.
We need a big giant bankroll. Yep. We need a big giant bankroll. Our last name isn't Petito. So, Yeah,
it's unfortunate how, things that are just, this big all revolve around, social status, and like you said, how much money you have. It's sad, a life is a life, you can't place a dollar sign on that. But it seems from, his social standing kind of why the case was pushed to the side, you know what I'm saying? Or, him volunteering, knowing the cops and stuff like that. That's gross, but I know that goes on a lot, It's not what it's who you know, and that's so unfortunate.
It is. And when you're in a small town out in Arizona, with population, I don't know, 5,000.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just cars go off the side of mountains and people just disappear and people die and people just kill themselves. And I'm like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
It seems brutal. But something out of an awful movie, you know what I mean?
It is. It keeps replaying in my head. It keeps replaying and replaying and replaying. And I think that's why someone asked me about my tattoos last week. Tell me about your tattoos. And I said, I would love to. Let me tell you about this one. And this one is Madison. And I don't know, it's hard to see this one.
It's
Well,
upside down.
I know it's hard to see because it's on the inside of my left arm, but
I see it.
it says Madison Ruby Almond, and it has the coordinates of where she took her first breaths in Florida.
Oh, that's cool.
I couldn't do her death date because, like Willie said, you don't want to look at that every single day. And I said, you're right. So I put down where she took her first breath, and all of the tattoos on my arm. I'm working on a sleeve in memory of my daughter, and it's art from local artists that I love, and they've let me put on my arm, and hummingbirds, because Madison loved hummingbirds. And the reason
Beautiful.
Scotty, when you're in there and you're getting that ink and you're getting that tattoo and that pain, it reminds us that we're alive. It
Yes.
reminds
Amen.
us alive and that it's not a dream. And I keep thinking that maybe I'm going to wake up, and I don't. But
Right.
and when I don't wake up, it's not the end of the world anymore. It was for a while. It was the end of the world. It was the end of the world, and I didn't see a way for it to be done.
Right.
I didn't know how, and I feel. Yeah,
So,
almost 5 years later.
so, what do you wish that more people understood about the warning signs, kind of, the silent struggles leading up to the tragedy? Because I know that um, there are some warning signs, before something awful like this happens, that a lot of probably girls, mostly women, maybe ignore or just don't see. Could you kind of explain some of those to us and, maybe educate the listeners that if you see this, it's probably time to maybe question where you're at or possibly get out of the situation you're in before something awful happens, like happened to Madison?
Absolutely. I think that first and foremost, as women and as maternal creatures, we have to trust our gut. And when you're at that party, when you were in high school and you're at that party and you're like, yeah, something just doesn't feel right, or you were out at the store and you're like, something just is off. I don't know. Trust your gut. You have to trust your gut. If it
Right.
doesn't feel right, it's
Yep.
probably not right. If it doesn't feel
Right.
like it's smooth, if something feels off, trust your gut. And, after trusting your gut, ask your partner or ask the person, hey, what's going on with you? You're acting different. What's going on? Are you angry? Is something upsetting you? What's going on? We need to talk about this. And if it escalates from there, if it goes from 0 to 100 because of that simple conversation, if he or she, because it's not always men, and I think that's very important, that there are women abusers out there. It's women on women, women on
Right.
men. There are. It's not 75% of domestic violence is male against female, but the other
Sure.
25% is female abusers.
Right.
And of that 25%, I believe it's 8% are women against men.
I did not know that. Wow.
It does happen. It does happen. And Willie will tell you that it happened to him. His crazy ex-wife locked him in a bathroom and was doing all kinds of crazy threats against him. So he called the police and said, you know what? I'm in a bathroom against my will, and I'm afraid that she is going to do something crazy.
Right.
Yes. And he made that
Man.
phone. And the police came. Now, was he in fear of his life? No, because Willie gonna mess you up. You ain't gonna mess with
Right.
Willie. But the fact that she had done something crazy and was acting so crazy, and he'll tell you, you know what? When the crazy starts, walk away. Go into another room.
Right.
You're not going to be able to diffuse it. You're not. You're not. And for somebody who is seeking that control, they're going to make you feel like it was your fault. Why
Right.
did you why did you say those things to upset me? Why did
Right.
you ask me if I'm upset? You upset me now. Why did you say those things to upset me? Why did you start the fight? You always start the fight.
Right.
And those types of things. Where are you going? Well, when are you going to be back? When I get back.
Right.
And when you get back, well, what took you so long? Why were you gone so long?
Right.
Um, those kinds of questions, when they start asking those, when the texts start coming, when you're at the store, they know you're at the store, but the texts are coming. Where are you? Are you almost done? Those are signs. Those are warning signs. That's control. And those are the very, very early signs. When things start looking weird in your house, like, man, I swear I left my keys right there. I can't find my
Right.
key. I can't find my keys anywhere. I can't find my phone. When the things that you need to go to work are missing, or they're in places that you would never find them because they hid them to make you late. They want you to be late
Right.
so you can get chastised at work. So when you come home, you seek relief from them. Oh, I got in trouble at work for
Wow.
being, oh, you were late? I'm sorry. Well, that just sucks. I can't believe that they did that to you, knowing all along that they're feeding that fire.
That.
Yep.
Right. Wow.
And
It's
and
amazing.
it
I
goes on and
never,
on.
I never even looked at it that way.
And it goes on and on. It just, Scotty, the amount of gaslighting that happens and people don't even realize it. When you're in a relationship, people say it should be 50-50, and I disagree with that
Right.
1,000%. It should be 100-100.
So do I.
Yeah,
100. Amen.
that's right. And when you
Yep.
feel like you're starting to give 125 because they're not giving it all, because you have to tip to, well, I don't want to say anything because it's going to upset them. So I just want to keep the peace. You're not keeping the peace. You're not keeping the peace by doing that. And that's
Right.
important for people to know. It's important
Right.
for people to understand
Amen.
the itty bitty signs. The most crazy things, like, you know what? I swear to God, I've been late to work every day this week because this happened, or I got a flat tire. And they will go as far as putting a nail in your tire so that you do get a flat tire. So you have to call them to rescue them. They
Right.
have to always feel like they're rescuing you and saving you. Yes. And if it's not
Yeah.
happening enough, they will create events so that it can happen, so that they can be your rescuer, be your hero. Look at me, I'm so big and strong. I saved you again. Aren't I wonderful?
Right.
Yep.
And they're the ones creating the hostility and the issues. That's
And the
amazing.
angst. Yes. And so many people don't understand that these men and women feel like they have to have you all to themselves, and they can't share you, and they will go to any length. And it sounds crazy. Does it sound crazy? It damn sure does sound crazy. It is crazy,
Right.
but it's happening. That's what's happening to people. They're being told, oh my gosh, you know what do you mean you got yelled at again? I'm so sorry that's happening. And meanwhile, here they are over here, fueling the fire.
Right. Creating it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And that's very common.
It's absolutely sad.
Don't understand it. And it comes from people who want the control. And it's all about control. All of it is about control.
Yep. 100%. Absolutely. So, if someone listening today has, a friend or a loved one in danger, what should they do immediately?
Leave.
Immediately leave. We tell them to leave.
Right.
Grab what you can, and if you're in a situation that you think you might need to, we tell people to have a go bag ready. Have a bag ready.
Right.
Have clothes, maybe a Ziploc of dog food, a little thing for water in there, have a toothbrush. Just grab what you can grab. All the things that you need just to keep yourself clean and sleep through the night. And
Right.
then get yourself out. Just get out. You don't have to go anywhere. Just get out. But once you get out, if you get out, there are several places. My recommendation to anyone who is leaving domestic violence, directly go to the police department. Go to the sheriff's department and go to the police department. Go to
Yep.
them directly, immediately, Give them your information. Let them know what's happening. Let them know your address. Let them know you are scared. You are afraid for your life. And make that report. That's the biggest step, is to make that report. Once you have that report, you have power. As
Right.
soon as you have that report, you have power. Now, does it mean he's not going to come and shoot you in the face? No, I can't guarantee that. I can't. Can't hold up a piece of paper and say, okay, I've got this order of protection. You can't hurt me now.
Right.
Well, we all know that doesn't work. But if there's an order of protection in place and people know that, then it's usually 500 yards. And you're going to
Yep.
have a chance to see them coming, see something happening, and get somebody on the phone.
Right.
That's the best advice. There are so many resources in the state of Florida. The biggest one is the Spring, which is near here. It's actually near Ocala. And it is a domestic violence shelter for women and children and pets. And they are there to help you start over, help you with resources, help you with a roof over your head, help you with job training, clothing, apartments. It's an amazing place. The Spring is, we're very fortunate in Florida to have the Spring. And I know there's several in every county just about. There
Yep.
is a domestic violence shelter now for men and women.
That's absolutely fantastic. Well, that's wonderful, wonderful to hear. Those are definitely wonderful resources, and I think more people should definitely take heed to the early warning signs. So tragedy doesn't strike when it's too late. So, how can communities better support survivors and families who've lost someone to domestic violence? Because I know there's a ton of things out there that people can do if somebody wants to get involved. In community outreach or in helping people. I think this is a really, really, really good avenue to go down. So, could you kind of tell us maybe what people who are not directly involved in it but want to support the survivors and the families who have lost someone to domestic violence? What can they do?
Well, I think there's several big organizations. One of
Right?
my favorites is Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence.
Okay.
It's ETSAD, and they are an organization helping women and men all over the country. And you can donate to them directly online at Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence.
Fantastic.
They have they have gained national attention because not only do they have a support group, they have resources. They
That's
have
great.
printed materials. They have shelters. They have liaisons in different states, and they have a big support group online on Facebook, of which I'm a member of.
Beautiful.
And I have found I don't really interact a whole lot, but I have found that because I follow them and because I use their hashtags, that I see a lot of their posters and for information. And that to me is a huge resource to be able to just copy and paste and share that on my pages. That is
Yes.
huge. To be able to share those 800 numbers, to be able to share those local resources. And one of the best resources that I have found for people is at Echo. And Echo has a huge resource book, and it has not only resources for domestic violence, but it has senior resources, helping hands, food banks, and
Nice.
it's about an inch and a half thick, and it's a fantastic book to help people. And Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence is breaking those stigmas and tearing down the walls that it happens behind closed doors and it's not your business. It is your business, because if you hear
Yeah.
somebody beating up on somebody, you need to call the law. If you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something.
Better
Doesn't
to
mean
say something and be wrong than be
that's
quiet and be right?
that's That's right. And if you hear arguing and you hear it, of course, be that nosy neighbor. See what's going on. Hey, what's all this hooting and hollering going on? Oh, you guys just having fun. All right. We just want to make sure, nothing
Right.
crazy happening. Yes. Know who your neighbors are. Be aware. Look at things. If you see somebody being shoved in a car, if you see something that isn't, make a fuss, make a stink, because people need to be heard. You know, don't turn, oh, it's not our business. It is your business. It is. It's our business. It's our community. So what happens in our community is our business. We live
Absolutely.
there. Yes, we live there too. Don't turn a blind eye. Don't close your doors and turn the lights off. Pay attention. Yes, because your eyes seeing that could be, you know what, that didn't look right. You know what, I'm going to call the sheriff because something isn't right about that. Something just isn't right. And it may just be nothing. But what if it's not? What if it's one of
Right.
those women? What if that person was just snatched and they're going to be trafficked? Yeah, it's
Right.
happening.
Right. Yep. Sure.
Yes, it's happening.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
my sister actually works for a nonprofit with victims of trafficking, and it's some of the horror stories. It's insane. And like you
It is.
said, the warning signs, somebody seeing something, a lot of it could have been prevented. And a lot of people, you hear this all the time. Somebody was being abused, somebody was being hit, somebody's being beat up. People were standing around watching. Nobody did anything. Nobody called the cops. Nobody said anything. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's
They have,
absolutely insane.
that's right. They have their phones out and they're videotaping it.
Right, right.
But
Yes,
nobody's
but doing nothing.
Yep. That's
Yep,
right.
it's absolute insanity. So thank you so much for that. Now, when we had talked before, you had mentioned, and I know you guys are huge reggae fans. You had mentioned, loving Natalie Rise, Propaganda.
Right.
Those are all voices of strength and resistance. And I know music plays a huge part into your healing and your advocacy. So, if Hippie Haven had a theme song or an anthem for this mission, which track would it be? Do you kind of have one in mind that kind of
I do.
bla-
It's
blazes the
Leilani
way?
Wolf
Let's hear it.
and Leilani Wolfgram, Jacob Hemphill, and Dan Kelly changed the world.
Nice. Yes, huge fans of Dan Kelly, man. We love
Yeah,
him.
us too. We got to meet him and hang out with him.
Giving him some love
Willie
now.
got his shirt on now. He got a
Giving
Dan
Dan
Kelly
some
shirt.
love now.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, he is a great, great, great guy. His story is absolutely fantastic as well.
Yes, it
Little,
is.
little vibes, farm love.
Yep.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
represent.
Yes,
That's hap-
reggae. You know,
It's
reggae.
healing.
It is healing,
It's
and it
healing
was.
music, bro. The community's healing, and that's where we want to be. You take tragedy, you got to find where there's good, and it's
Yes,
hard, man. It's a small little granule in the desert throughout the day, but you find that, and we found it in reggae music and in music in general. But
yes,
around
amen.
the artisan, everybody cares about everybody. Everybody gives you a hug when you're down, so that's where it's at.
That's
You know,
right,
you
and
got
it's
you got to find your little niche there and go after it. And what makes you just say, you know what, today might be a bad day, but I got a hug from Willie and the Hippie Haven.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
That's right. Or you know what? Wow, we're needing up. How many times a week I can count when people message us? Oh, I need a mama bow hug. Oh, I need a hippie hug, and we get those little messages, and it just makes us smile knowing that when we started Hippie Haven in 2021, December of 2021. When we opened those doors, we wanted to be a safe place because there was a lot of crazy going on in the world. And there was a
Yes,
lot of,
absolutely.
yes, there was a lot of people not knowing who they wanted to be or what they wanted to be. And families were ousting them because they decided they were they, them, or he. I don't know. I don't
Right,
understand a lot of it. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't understand it, but I respect it. And we
right.
were a safe place for them to come and create art and have a cup of tea and just get a hug.
That's
And
beautiful.
and bro, with reggae, your vibe attracts your tribe. It's just
Sure.
something about the music that when they hear reggae music going on, they come because they have a feeling. They say something drew me here, and like I said, your vibe attracts your tribe, and it brings the people in your life that you need. So
that's right. And we like to
It
believe,
certainly does. It
and
brought us together. It sure did.
it did. You were in there, and we were at Bayboro Brewing, and
Yes.
a couple years ago, yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we always, and I think that's comes full circle, and we like to believe that it's Maddie Fruit. It's Madison. She is up there making sure the right people find their way to us. And that's why we call it Maddie Fruit. That's why
Yep.
our nonprofit is Maddie Fruit, because all of the people that we're supposed to meet and all the people that we have encountered on this healing journey, the saddest journey of my life has brought us some of the most joyful people and
Beautiful.
some of the most kind and generous and loving people that don't want anything from us, and we don't want anything from them. It's just love. Love always wins. It always wins. And sometimes it's really hard to feel that love. And if you can just drop and stop everything, stop the noise. You know, when you can turn down the noise of what's happening every day
Yep.
and turn up the volume of love and listen,
Amen.
it's a beautiful thing to hear. And it's so beautiful to
Amen.
somewhere we don't have the noise of every day just so loud. We have a beautiful spot where we, land every single night, and we love that. And the fact that we can turn that down and let the reggae and the healing and the love of God come in.
Yes. Right on. Thank you
Yep.
so much. I don't think I could have asked you to say that any better than you just did. That was absolutely fantastic. So, how can our audience support Hippie Haven directly? Volunteering, donations, spreading awareness. Just kind of tell us what we can do to get involved with Hippie Haven.
Send big fat checks and duffel bags filled with hundreds.
Yes, amen. That's it.
Just be part of it, bro.
Just be part of
Yep.
You
it.
know, spread a little love throughout the day, no matter what day it is, or no matter how bad it is. Find that little glimmer and go out there and pass it to somebody else that needs it. It might be somebody in the store you walk up, you see, and you just need to give them a hug. It'll tell you, your inner gut will tell you that that person needs it, and just go out there and do it. You know,
That's beautiful, man.
you can follow us, hang out with us, do what we do.
Yeah.
You know, be part of the tribe.
And when you're having a horrible day, turn on some reggae. I mean, I never
Yes,
thought
always.
10 years ago, if you told me I was going to be listening to reggae all the time, I'd be like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be giving up my Metallica. I don't know.
Right.
I, I love me some Pearl Jam and some Soundgarden. Come on. I don't know that I'm going to do that. And yeah, I still listen to it. But when I'm feeling like my shoulders are right here around my neck and I'm just like, "Whoa," all I have to
Yep.
do is put that reggae on. When the noise of the news and the horrors of what's happening in our country is so loud,
Right.
I turn up the music, because that's the only
Yep.
thing that settles me. It settles my soul. And Madison loved music. She
Amen.
loved music. She loved to dance. She loved music. She loved reggae. She loved art. And that's what formed us, all the things that she loved. She loved the ocean. She loved the beach. She was my water baby. She loved
That's
all of it.
beautiful.
And you can
Eh,
support us by following us. Follow us on
Be part
Facebook,
of it. Yep.
Hippie Haven Collective. We're Hippie Haven Collective on Instagram. You know, we're just a couple of hippies going down the road trying to spread a little love and leave people better than we found them, because that's what Madison did.
Amen. That is very, very, very well said. I love that. I'm actually going to steal that quote. I'm going to use that to start my next podcast. I absolutely am in love with what you just said. And I know your daughter is seeing what you're doing. And if she was sitting right beside you guys in this podcast right now, what do you think she would say?
She would say, "Mama, look how gray your hair is."
She might make
Yeah,
a comment about my gray hair too, then, right?
she would say, I would hope she would say, "Ah, Mama, you did good."
That's beautiful.
That's what I would hope she would say.
I know she would say that. You did good. You're absolutely amazing people. We love Hippie Haven. We have an event coming up. You are one of our main sponsors. You guys literally go out of your way not just to help victims of domestic violence, but to push the reggae music, to help other nonprofits, to help our nonprofit. You take it many steps further than you actually need to for just helping victims of domestic violence. You're helping people worldwide in all situations, people that need help. Hippie Haven steps up and helps them. So I urge everybody listening, please go to Facebook, follow Hippie Haven Collective, get involved. If you see anything they're involved in, get involved. If you see Val and Willie, give them a hug, tell them thank you, because they're doing what a lot of people aren't doing. They are actually out there hitting the streets, helping people, opening their homes, allowing people to come live in their homes that need places to stay, getting people on their feet, doing things that, once again, a lot of us are just, quote unquote, too busy to do. And I know they're very busy people, but they also still find the time every single day to help other people. And that is what it's all about. Damn it. That is what it's all about. Putting yourself aside to help other people. If everybody did that, this would be a perfect fucking world. You
It
know?
would. It would. And what better way to leave a legacy for my daughter than to be in service to God and my community? What better way?
Amen. In service of other people and to God. That is, dude, you nailed it. That is what life is all about. You know? That is what
That's
life is all about.
that's all we're trying to do, brother. That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to survive another day with a
Yes.
little bit of reggae and a little bit of love in our hearts, and to support the local reggae scene in Florida and all of the
Yes.
amazing bands, Vibes Farm and
Yes.
Propaganda and Trees of Life and
Yes.
all
Love them.
Roots.
Drifting Roots and all of,
Love
Brother
them.
Finn, all of
Love
these.
them.
Yeah, all of these people. Smokey Lynn, he's coming
Yeah.
on the scene.
Love him too, man.
Yes, what a great guy. What a great guy. So we want to support them, and we can. And we also, well, you know this, but a lot of people don't know. Two big things. Beginning next month,
Yep.
Hippie Haven volunteers at the Florida Sound Music Ranch for the
Yep.
entire festival season, which starts
Yep.
October 17 and it runs until April 30. So we will be at the Sand Ranch volunteering for the entire season, and we're doing breakfast at all the
Yes.
festivals.
Very nice.
And then October 25th is Hippie Ween. It's our
Yes.
second annual. It's a big, huge festival that we do in Valrito. Propaganda is playing again, and
Yes.
we'll have
Very nice.
some lounge by Rise Dispensaries. They're one of our sponsors, and if anybody
Beautiful.
wants to throw in some money for sponsorship, just hit us up at Hippie Haven. We would love to have someone sponsor our porta potty. We need someone to sponsor the porta potty.
Yep.
Anybody,
Yep. Heard that.
anybody.
And let me kind of put some words in your mouth. A couple minutes ago, you said you're just going around with a little bit of love in your heart. I'm gonna say you're going around with a whole ton of love in your heart. So that's very apparent. If anybody knows you, if anybody's ever talked to you, or this is the first time they're hearing you, they can definitely see that you guys have more love in your heart than than you were born with. I think you just you kind of you make it a point to spread love and to help people. It's it's almost like it's a conscious decision for you every day. You're like, this is what we're going to do, and you do it, and that's amazing. Because
Well, I
you don't have to,
can tell you
but you do.
that none of this would happen. None of it. Zero, zip, zilch, nada would happen without that man right there. None of
Amen.
it.
Willie,
None of it.
represent.
He saved my life, Scotty. He saved my
That's
life.
beautiful.
Yep. Because I just didn't think I could ever survive this.
Right.
And he saved my life by being here and catching all the broken pieces and holding them in his hands slowly for me until I was ready to put it back together.
That is an absolutely
I
beautiful
couldn't ask,
thing.
I couldn't ask for a better human to be on this journey with me for the rest of my life. I couldn't.
I'll send you my bank account number, bro.
Right. And I could say the same thing. I am 100% blessed to have my wife Kira with me. I feel the same way. She She saved my life on multiple occasions, and it's amazing when you have somebody by your side that you can look at and you just know that they've got your back no matter what. That is
Yes.
an absolutely incredible thing.
Yes. And that, as I walked around, almost 2 years just in a fog with that sucking sound, and he just wrapped me in the biggest, safest bubble ever and didn't let me out of his sight, so that I could heal. I'm still healing,
Of
and
course, of
we're
course.
healing together. We are, you know, healing together through the loss. And there's been a lot of loss. There's been so much loss for us in the last 5 years. And I like to believe that Madison is guiding us and
Amen.
and protecting us and watching over us. And when I was sitting out here smoking just before our our show, there was a big, beautiful butterfly came down and landed, and I like to believe it was Madison letting me know, okay, Mom, way to go. I'm right
This is
here.
that.
Thing.
That's wonderful. That is so
I like.
sweet.
She gives me all the signs. I couldn't see them for the first 3 years. I couldn't see them
Right.
because I was married, but I can see them now. And every day there's signs, whether it's a feather or a butterfly or a big, beautiful rainbow,
Right.
always a sign. Always.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. And the fact that you're receptive to those signs is absolutely phenomenal. Guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on Hippie-Fari Reggae Radio and podcast and share your story. I know this is a reggae platform, but you guys are deeply, deeply, deeply involved in the Florida reggae community. And I just felt that your story needs as many platforms, or Madison's story needs as many platforms that are available because the word needs to get out. Um, Things like this do happen on a daily basis. And if one person could hear this and it
Yes.
could help them, then the job is done. And I'm hoping it helps a lot of people. But I love what you guys are doing, and I felt really compelled. I wanted you on so bad um, to share the story because I think it's extremely important that people hear what's going on and people know what's going on, and it might be something that people just don't even think about. Well, start thinking about it. Listen to what Valerie said. If you see something weird, say something. Stand up for somebody. For God's sake, do something because you don't want to be the person that could have made a difference, could have stopped something, and you didn't because you didn't want to get involved. Get
Or you
involved.
don't want to be that parent that gets that call, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right. It's
Absolutely.
important as parents to know who your child is dating. Who are they seeing? Are you online? Be very careful. You need to know who you are. Make sure you're in a public place. Don't do anything, things. It's important to know. You don't have to be a helicopter parent to know, okay, who's this guy you're dating or who's this girl you're talking to? It's
Right.
okay. It is okay to ask those questions because as parents, we are the ones that are responsible for their safety. And it doesn't end at 18. It's the rest of
Amen.
their lives. And
Yep.
Madison's life was cut short at 25. She would have been
Wow.
30 this year. Yep, born on 420, my original OG hippie.
That's my
She
daughter's birthday too.
it, she would have been 30 this year. She would have been 30. Yep. And I like to believe that she is up there guiding us every single day. Every
Absolutely.
single, yes, every day.
I
Yep.
firmly do believe that. Just by talking to you and you sharing your experience, strength, and hope. I know she's definitely up there guiding you, and showing you the signs, and just letting you know, Mom, it's okay. Keep doing this because people need people like you.
Thank
100%. You
you.
and Willie,
Thank you
completely.
for giving us a platform. Thank you for giving Hippie Haven and for giving Willie and I a voice. Thank you
Of course.
so much for giving us this opportunity to let people know love shouldn't hurt. And you know what? You can get out. You can. You can get out. You can do it. Be that person today. You can do it. Pack a little bag and have it ready. And if you can't get out today, make the call. You can get out tomorrow.
Absolutely. I hope everybody takes heed to what they heard. Once again, guys, just thank you so much for coming on and sharing the resources and just letting people know that it's never too late to make the right decision. So once again, thank you guys so much. From me and Kira, we love you guys from the bottom of our hearts. We love
Love,
Hippie Haven. So
peace
there
and
is
love.
strength in unity. Build your community. So follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, or shoot me an email, hippiefarreggae@gmail.com, and check out our website, hippie-fari.podbean.com. This is Scotty, the high-strung hippie, and Kira, the Irie Empress, reminding you to speak your mind before somebody else does it for you. And do something nice for somebody today. Grab flowers for your partner, smoke out a stranger, slip the homeless man a buck. But whatever you do, do it from the heart, because all good things start with the heart. Peace, love, and Rasta rhythms are all a part of that reggae revolution. One love, fam.